The following is a production of Learfield Sports.
Hello again, Lobo fans, and welcome you on the set of Lobo TV for your Lobo Coaches Show, New Mexico and Tulsa. We go through it with head football coach Bob Davie. Coach Davie, welcome back on the show, and a lot of good things to take away from the football game, but I know also very frustrating because of Lobo mistakes, in particular penalties.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. It was a frustrating night, a disappointing night in a lot of ways. The trademark of this team, really since I've been here, has been no self-inflicted mistakes, trying to maximize every opportunity we could get. Last night was a surprise in a lot of ways, the amount of penalties we had. It was kind of the tale of some real good and some real bad. I think you see the potential we have, the explosiveness I continue to talk about, but just so many penalties. I don't know that I've ever been in a game where there are that many major penalties, and offense, defense, and special teams all had their share of penalties. But give Tulsa credit. You know, they're a talented team. I thought they came in here and played a more disciplined style of football for a longer period of time than us. So disappointed, yes, but also encouraged that we played hard, and I think this football team has a lot of potential.
Also an important night, Heroes Night. The Lobos wore their helmets with the red, white, and blue decals. There was a nice partnership between the Lobos and KOAT to benefit the wounded warriors. It was a special night. Yeah,
I appreciate everybody coming out. It was definitely a good crowd. It was a good atmosphere, a great night to play football, and it just didn't work our way. But the great thing, maybe the best thing, is we have 10 games left.
And you said they really start coming fast and furious now.
Yeah, we go to Arizona State this week on a short week. We play Friday night, so we've got to get some corrections made. We've got to become better. The bottom line, I think we have enough talent. I think we have enough expertise on our coaching staff, but we need to get better.
All right, when we come back on the other side of this first time out, we're going to have first half highlights for you. We break it all down with head football coach Bob Davie right after this on your Lobo Coaches Show. Toyota's annual clearance event is going on now. Visit your Toyota of Albuquerque, Santa Fe Toyota dealers for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
If you or someone you know experiences the symptoms of a heart attack,
chest pain, shortness of breath,
rapid or irregular heartbeat,
weakness, dizziness, or sweating,
don't drive yourself to the hospital.
Don't have a family member or friend drive you to the hospital.
Call 911.
We can begin life-saving treatment immediately.
We can prepare the hospital to receive you.
We can increase your chances of survival.
Call 911. It's why we're here.
It's what we do.
It could save your life.
Brought to you by Heart Hospital of New Mexico and Albuquerque Fire Department.
Range Rover Sport. Land Rover, above and beyond.
We're back on your Lobo TV Coaches Show with Lobo head football coach Bob Davie. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy. Coach Davie, it's time to take a look at our first half highlights as we go through a breakdown of a really terrific start to the football game for New Mexico, and your first drive was fantastic.
Yeah, we took the first drive the length of the field, really highlighted by triple option, putting the football on the corner. Something we didn't do a lot against Mississippi Valley State, but we had a lot of success certainly last night against Tulsa. We pitched the ball. Here you see Terrion Gibson coming back from the cartilage that he had removed. We probably pitched the ball more in that game last night than I've ever been around. Probably a little more than we wanted to. We ended up putting on the ground one time, but definitely a good job on the perimeter. I.B. Brown, another guy coming back from a hamstring. This is the second play of the game. That's the good news. Then on a third down and almost 5, little bit of miscommunication right here, but something that just shouldn't happen. You know, we jumped off sides a little bit. Then number 88 got in behind Cranston, and just, you know, talk about getting momentum, working our tail off on the first drive offensively. and then 3 plays later they throw what was that, a 69-yard touchdown pass down the field.
Yeah, Josh Atkinson got behind the defense for that one. But I thought this was a show of what the Lobo offense can be as Damian Gamlin gets behind them as they were coming in an all-out blitz.
Yeah, they went in a 0 blitz, meaning no safety back there, just man-to-man across the board. Damian Gamlin stuck his foot in the ground, made a great inside cut, and Lamar really hung in there and got the football up in a big play.
You guys got some pressure on the quarterback in the first half. Here's the big fella, Taylor Timmons, coming right up the gut.
Yeah, we weren't bashful last night. You know, we blitzed a lot. We did put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Again, this was disappointing. You know, this was a 1st and 10. They went hurry up on us. They put formation into the boundary, had number 2 matched up on Ricky Bennett. You know, he ran straight down the field. And again, I compliment Tulsa. They have some good players, particularly at those skill positions. And the quarterback, I thought, played extremely well.
That was Kevin Lucas on that touchdown. And here's Garrett Hughes, and he came in almost untouched for the sack.
Yeah, you know, one thing, they did a good job protecting the football. As we mentioned, the quarterback took some shots. They did turn the ball over here in the kicking game. I don't know that I've ever been in a game where we were punting the ball 3 times, got possession back on 3 times in the game. This was a great job here recovering the fumble, but just a silly mistake by Nick DeVonzo. Yeah, again, the frustrations. You know, in a lot of ways, we went at halftime, we were fortunate that we were only down 20-14 because we did make some big mistakes. You know, but the penalty thing, the penalty thing started early in the game. It continued throughout the game. But it's a 2014 game at halftime, and we're going to come back in the second half and take the first drive of the second half down for a touchdown. So we knew we could do some things. It really came down to eliminating those self-inflicted mistakes and just hanging on defense and forcing a punt.
Lobo fans trust Albuquerque Tents to provide the professional quality party and special event products you need for a special event at an affordable price. Call Albuquerque Tents, 873-6190. After this timeout, we come back with more with head football coach Bob Davie and a recap of the second half highlights on your Lobo Coaches Show.
Be advised, we are currently 2-3 minutes from your facility. 20-year-old female restrained passenger single vehicle rollover.
Okay, I got an unresponsive patient here, so let's go ahead and get prepared for a rapid sequence intubation. Can I get chest x-ray, please?
Having a trauma designation and having a place like UNM means that as a patient, you know when you come here, you're going to be getting excellent care.
Hey Lobo fans, for everything Lobo, shop the Lobo Den store at the Pit, Tuesday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And on game day, shop 90 minutes before tip-off. We've got the best selection of basketball tees, jerseys, hoodies, and more. For great savings, shop Game Day Fridays and save 25% on Lobo wear and spirit items online at loboden.unm.edu or in-store every Friday during basketball season. Visit us today at loboden.unm.edu, the Lobo Den store at the Pit, where everyone's a Lobo. The Lobo Coaches Show is brought to you by Loveless Health System. You're going to love Loveless.
Back on the set of Lobo TV with head football coach Bob Davie. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy. Coach Davie, time now to get into the second half highlights. And really, the start of the second half, kind of very similar to the start of the first half. The Lobo offense was clicking early.
Well, first possession, Tulsa went down and we hung by a thread, held them to a field goal. Then we get the football back and pretty methodically drive the football down the field. We did make some adjustments at halftime, particularly on the perimeter blocking, but you're right. We took the first drive of the game, the first drive of the second half. There you see one of those adjustments on the perimeter of pitching the ball really off the strong safety and arcing out on the corner. And I thought Reese White, I thought our offensive staff did a good job of adjusting. And right here we kick it in, makes it a 23-21 game.
Terrion Gibson, you mentioned at the outset of the show, he's coming off that meniscus, and he looked to be explosive.
Well, he's got those fresh legs. He hadn't played in a while, and it was good to have him back.
And throwing the ball here to Damian Gamlin consistently, his best game of his career.
Yeah, and that was a big 3rd down and 10 conversion right there, an element to our game that I don't think we've had in the past. This is a big series right here. We eventually end up missing a field goal that would have made it 24-23. Jason Sanders just hit it wide to the right. This came back to bite us. 23-21, they go up top to 88 again. He beats Cranston Jones. It was really just a simple 3-deep coverage. That should not happen. Actually, we brought Donnie Duncan into the game after that. Just 88 with 2 big plays over the top of us. We knew number 2, we knew number 1 would be good receivers.
Brewer scores there to extend the lead. Now, Lamar working out of the pocket right there. Gamble might have gotten more hadn't stepped on the sideline.
He did. You know, it was, again, after another penalty, it was 1st and 14. Here's the second fake punt in the game. This one is 4th and 1. They kept their safe punt out there, which means they kept their defense. The time before, they kept their punt return team on the field. Just a great job by Zach Rogers. You know, I totally trust him. We actually call it option. We thought there'd be a chance to convert. Right here, it's a 33-21 game. We're going to go down and score a touchdown and have it called back by a silly penalty.
That's right. We'll get a chance to look at that right here. And just a tremendous catch at the back of the end zone by Carlos Wiggins on a beautiful throw.
And what happened, we had Damian Gamblin in motion, and Carlos took a step up to the line of scrimmage right before the ball was snapped, which meant we had 2 men in motion. It was the right call. And then to put the dagger in, the very next play you saw right there on the interception.
And Lamar had Reese wide open right there, and maybe even a first down, just overthrew him.
Yeah, panicked a little bit, and I think a cumulative effect of just the frustration of the game. But you go from putting 7 points on the board to turning the football over, that coming on the heels of the missed field goal. So certainly a lot of opportunities. We have no one to blame for ourselves, other than ourselves, and we've got to get better and correct them.
All right, it's time for, as we will every week throughout the entire season on the Lobo Coaches Show, to take a look at a really wonderful, cinematic look back, if you will, at the Lobo football game. This highlight reel presented by Lobo TV.
Mexico Lobos out of the Mountain West Conference coming off their largest shutout victory in 65 years in front of a big crowd here, sensing this is a big game for them. Week 2, a chance to go 2-0 and set the table for the conference season, taking on a very good Tulsa team here. Pitches it. Gibson turns the corner. First down and a touchdown. Third and long, and they're coming after the quarterback. Jordan over the middle. Got a man. It's caught. It's Gamblin. He's gone. Touchdown, Lobos. Tulsa, and on third down, Evans is in trouble, and he's sacked back at the 38-yard line. Play action, pressure backside, and down goes Evans. Jordan pitches it short side, Gibson, touchdown New Mexico.
The Lobo Coaches Show is brought to you by Santa Ana Star Casino, New Mexico's best bet.
Our weekend kind of starts on Thursday nights because we come to the comedy club. It's our favorite thing to do, and it is so much fun, and we laugh until our face hurts. So that's Thursday night.
Diane is an actual Santa Ana Star player, your neighbor.
And then Friday we come for Sadie's, which is awesome. On Saturday nights we usually end up in the Lounge 54. You can have something different anytime you come.
New Mexico's best bet.
Santa Ana Star.
If you or someone you know experiences the symptoms of a heart attack,
chest pain, shortness of breath,
rapid or irregular heartbeat,
weakness, dizziness, or sweating,
don't drive yourself to the hospital.
Don't have a family member or friend drive you to the hospital.
Call 911.
we can begin life-saving treatment immediately.
We can prepare the hospital to receive you.
We can increase your chances of survival.
Call 911. It's why we're here.
It's what we do.
It could save your life.
Brought to you by Heart Hospital of New Mexico and Albuquerque Fire Department.
The Lobo Coaches Show is brought to you by UNM Hospitals, the official healthcare provider of the Lobos.
We're back on your Lobo Coaches Show with head football coach Bob Davie. Coach Davie, it's time for our Eye Associates of New Mexico look behind the scenes. The Lobos do a great job getting out into the community, and we're going to take a peek at a visit to a preschool here coming up.
Yeah, I guess Jason Lensmeyer's son, Brooke, attends this preschool, and not just the offensive line, but our entire team by position groups did a lot of work in the community this summer.
All right, here is a look, the Eye Associates of New Mexico look behind the scenes at a Child's Garden preschool.
You guys excited to see us?
Yeah.
I don't know. Y'all don't sound too excited.
I think only one person's excited in this whole group.
I want to read this one. I want to read this one.
Those are my favorite items. They help me go real big.
Hi, puppy. Here's the Lobo.
Beep, beep. Teaching culinary arts today.
We got steak and potatoes coming up.
Rex, you want to catch?
Good catch.
All right.
Quite a contrast there with those big O linemen at the preschool with the little kids, but they were terrific. And I know you've had a little bit of upheaval on that offensive line.
Yeah, that's a great group of guys, and Jason Lensmeyer's a heck of a coach. The reality is, though, we need to get a lot better. We've kind of shuffled things around. You know, we lost Toye Adawan, as you know. Toye had invested a lot of time. We'd invested a lot of time in him at center. Last night we went with Mahina at center, Oldenkamp at guard, Aaron Jenkins at guard, started Garrett Adcock, and Reno at tackle. Garrett Adcock hurt his knee, so Roman came in. We got Chris Lewis in the game at guard. And honestly, we struggled. We struggled up inside with Tulsa. Number 8 and number 99 gave us all we could handle in there. And you know, Robert, you've been around our program. If we can't run the dive up in there, we have a hard time. And we had a hard time last night. So we got exposed a little bit. I love those guys. They're great guys. We have to get better. We have to get the right guys on the field up inside there. We're going to have a long time trying to run the football.
A spot where you thought that you were going to be solid and deep, and it's so quickly with Vizcaíno and Adawan not being available, it gets thin.
Yeah, we lost 2 starters, and we said that it would be a work in progress. I do like what Chris Lewis and Jack Ziltz brought us. The reality, they're coming from no spring football, not much experience. In Chris Lewis's case, no experience on the offensive line. We have to get those guys ready before we get into conference play.
All right, Lobo fans, today's broadcast apparel is brought to you by UNM Bookstores, home of the original Game Day Fridays. Save 25% on Lobo wear and spirit items any Game Day Friday. Time for a weekly Unmasked feature. Lobo TV's Unmasked, and it's Lobo linebacker Kimmy Carson.
Kimmy Carson, linebacker, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Just leading the defense to a victory each week. It's really just trying to be the best leader I can.
How would you describe your style of play to the average Lobo fan?
Slasher type linebacker, real explosive.
Range Rover Sport. Land Rover above and beyond.
Where is the middle of nowhere? You can't find it on a map. There's no looking up its address. And there are no GPS coordinates to punch in, or freeway exit signs to take. The fact is, the middle of nowhere is pretty hard to find. And that's just fine with us. Toyota, let's go places.
The Lobo Coaches Show is brought to you by Land Rover Albuquerque, proud supporters of Lobo Athletics.
Back to wrap things up on your Lobo Coaches Show from the studios of Lobo TV. I'm Robert Portnoy with head football coach at UNM, Bob Davie. Coach Davie, a couple quick notes. I thought Dakota Cox looked much more like himself, that suddenness that was maybe lacking week one, a dozen tackles, and he was flying all over the field.
I agree, Robert. Looking at the tape this morning, Dakota Cox played extremely well. I thought Kimmy Carson played extremely hard, played really good. On offense, Damian Gamblin, Terrion Gibson took advantage of his opportunities. I thought Lamar Jordan really played pretty good offensively as well. And then Zach Rogers, what he did, punting the football and then also on those two fakes to keep our drives alive on fourth down.
First throw from Austin Apodaca, one he'd like to have back, but then he made a couple of really nice throws there at the end of the first half. It looked like he played better. Yeah. We just couldn't catch it.
Yeah, the good news, he threw it better. We dropped 2 balls at the end of the first half. Damian Gamblin, we told you, he played his heart out. Then Pat Reed dropped one that was unfortunate. Austin's still a little bit shaky, still not playing in the game like he plays in practice. But again, I thought he was improved. So, you know, as disappointed as we are, I mean, we can't sugarcoat that. We are. It was a big game for us. There's a lot of hope. You know, it's too early to get philosophical. If you look down our schedule after Arizona State, a bunch of the teams that we play after that in order lost as well. So what happened is over. Now we have to fix it. Now we have to move on to Arizona State here quickly.
And you move on to Arizona State with a short week.
We do, but so do they. You know, they played late last night. I got home last night, Joanne and I, and watched Cal Poly, Arizona State. It was a heck of a game. They do have the advantage that Cal Poly's offense is somewhat like ours, but we have the advantage that Tulsa's offense is somewhat like Arizona State. So we get a chance to go to Tempe. I know our players are excited about going over there, but first we have to really, really look at what happened last night and improve.
And certainly from a discipline standpoint, that's the one thing you'll be looking at most closely against Arizona State?
No question, but that's our signature of our program, is to outwork, out-hit, and out-discipline. And, you know, I think last night they came in different waves. You know, it wasn't one specific thing, which makes it frustrating. But we'll get back. You know, we'll still end up, after this season's over, being one of the least penalized teams in the country.
And I liked when you guys went to tempo on offense, how it seemed to get them back on their heels. It looked good.
Yeah, we've got some things. We've got some pieces. But again, we have to be able to run that football up inside. You know, we cannot become just a finesse perimeter team, whether it's pitching the ball or throwing the ball. Number 6 is too good of a player not to get his hands on the ball up inside those tackles.
Yeah, Jarrell Presley, you want to get him going somehow, but you got to get the dive going.
Yeah, he hasn't had much chance, I'll be honest. He's done a couple things on his own, but you know, we've just got to go back and we've got to block people, we got to get settled down, and we got to get back to our style of football here.
A player you mentioned from last week, Daryl Chestnut, that you wanted to get a couple of touches here and there. It looked like you started to try to do that late in the game.
Yeah, we did. And we thought about getting McCorley in there as well. It's just that we didn't have much dive opportunities. And because it was such a perimeter game, we felt more comfortable pitching the ball to some guys that have been around longer, Gamblin, Gibson, rather than the new guys.
Maybe not yet Cole Gauchi, but Lamar Jordan in the option?
He's getting a little bit better. You know, he's getting a little bit better.
All right, Arizona State, Friday night, under the lights, national television. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's a good deal. I wish we were going in there with a win under our belt, but 1-1, and we've got a chance to go play our 3rd game.
All right, Coach Davie, sure appreciate your time as always. Best of luck against the Sun Devils in Tempe.
Thank you, Robert.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us on your Lobo TV Coaches Show from the studios of Lobo TV.